I, 34F, have been dealing with some serious family drama lately that has left me questioning whether I overstepped. My brother Andrew, 38M, and his ex-wife Camilla, 36F, got divorced last year after being married for 12 years. They have a daughter Emma, 10F, who means everything to me. I've been very close to Emma ever since she was born, and since I chose not to have kids of my own, she's like the daughter I never had. I've tried my best to support her through her parents' divorce. Andrew and Camilla met in college. Camilla came from a wealthy family and was used to a certain lifestyle. Andrew wasn't from a rich background, but he worked hard and became a successful software engineer. Their marriage was good in the beginning, but problems started when Camilla insisted on maintaining an expensive lifestyle even when they were struggling financially. Andrew would work overtime to keep up with her spending habits, which led to him spending less time at home. The divorce wasn't particularly messy compared to most. They agreed to shared custody without much fighting, mostly because Andrew didn't want Emma to go through a bitter custody battle. Our family continued inviting Camilla to all family gatherings because we thought it would help Emma adjust better to her parents' divorce. Camilla had been part of our family for 12 years, and we didn't want Emma feeling torn between her parents. Andrew focused on his career and being a good dad after the divorce. He didn't date anyone for almost a year. About 6 months ago, he met Lisa, 35F, through a mutual friend. Lisa works as a pediatric nurse and has a son, 8M, from her previous marriage. When Andrew first told us about Lisa, we were happy for him because he seemed genuinely excited about dating again. Camilla acted supportive when she first heard about Lisa. She even told Andrew she was glad he was moving on. But things started changing gradually. Emma began coming back from Camilla's house saying strange things about Lisa. She would say that Lisa was only interested in Andrew's money, or that Lisa was mean to her when nobody else was around. She also said Lisa didn't really like kids and was just pretending to like her. This concerned me because I had spent quite a bit of time with Lisa, and she had always been wonderful with Emma. Lisa would often ask me for advice about Emma's interests and would plan special outings for them. She even learned to bake Emma's favorite cookies and would make them together. Something wasn't adding up, but I kept quiet because I didn't want to cause problems. Last month, during our mom's 60th birthday celebration, everything came to a head. Emma was staying at Camilla's house that weekend, and Camilla brought her to the party like usual. The party was going well until Lisa tried to help Emma with her food. Emma suddenly started crying hysterically, screaming that she hated Lisa and didn't want her around. Everyone was shocked because Emma and Lisa had been baking cookies together just the weekend before. Andrew took Emma aside to talk, and what came out was heartbreaking. Camilla had been systematically poisoning Emma against Lisa for months. She had been showing Emma edited screenshots of conversations where it looked like Lisa was saying mean things about Emma. She told Emma that Lisa was pressuring Andrew to send her to boarding school so they wouldn't have to deal with her. She even convinced Emma that Lisa was planning to move her son into Emma's room and give away all her toys. The most manipulative part was that Camilla had been telling Emma not to tell anyone about these conversations because it would make her dad sad, and he might stop loving her. She made Emma promise to keep it all secret, telling her that's what good daughters do to protect their families. I was beyond furious. Camilla had been deliberately hurting her own daughter just to get back at Andrew for moving on. What made it even worse was how Camilla had been acting so supportive of Andrew's new relationship in front of everyone while secretly manipulating Emma behind the scenes. I confronted Camilla right there at the party. She tried denying everything at first, saying Emma must have misunderstood their conversations. But Emma was so upset that she started telling everyone about all the things her mom had been saying. Camilla then changed her story and said she was just trying to protect Emma from getting hurt when Lisa eventually left, just like all of Andrew's previous girlfriends. This made no sense because Andrew hadn't dated anyone seriously since the divorce until Lisa. I lost my temper and told Camilla she needed to leave the party. She refused, saying she had every right to be there for family events since she was Emma's mother. I told her she was no longer welcome at our family gatherings after what she did to Emma. This caused a huge scene, with Camilla crying and claiming I was trying to alienate her from her family support system. Andrew supported my decision to ban Camilla from family events, but our parents think we should still include her for Emma's sake. They say excluding her will only make things worse and could make Emma feel like she has to choose sides. Our extended family is also divided on this. Some agree that Camilla crossed the line, while others think I'm being too harsh and should prioritize keeping the peace for Emma's benefit. Camilla has been telling everyone who will listen that I'm trying to turn the family against her and that I never liked her anyway. She's been calling our relatives crying about how cruel we're being to her. Some extended family members have been calling me, saying I'm being unreasonable and that family events will be awkward for Emma if her mom isn't included. My husband thinks I should just apologize to keep the peace, but I don't think I can forgive someone who would manipulate a child like that. Andrew is torn because while he agrees Camilla's behavior was awful, he worries that banning her from family events might make things harder for Emma in the long run. I feel like I'm doing the right thing by standing up for Emma, but the family pressure is getting intense. Some relatives are threatening not to come to family events if Camilla isn't welcome. I don't want to cause a bigger rift in the family, but I also can't stand the thought of having someone around who would deliberately hurt a child just to get revenge on their ex. Update 1: A lot has happened since my last post about banning my brother's ex-wife Camilla from our family gatherings. The situation has actually gotten much worse than I expected. Camilla has started showing up uninvited to every single family event, claiming she has a right to be there as Emma's mother. Last weekend, she showed up at my cousin's baby shower even though she wasn't invited. She made a scene when my cousin's wife asked her to leave, saying we were all trying to erase her from the family. These unexpected appearances create really uncomfortable situations, especially for Emma. She gets visibly anxious whenever her mom shows up unannounced. She starts biting her nails and barely speaks to anyone. The last time Camilla showed up uninvited, Emma ran to hide in my bedroom and refused to come out until her mom left. But something even more disturbing came to light last week. We discovered that Camilla had been secretly recording conversations between Emma and Lisa. She would record them when Emma was on the phone with Andrew and Lisa, or somehow during their interactions at school events. She would then edit these recordings to make it sound like Lisa was being mean to Emma, and play these edited clips back to Emma when she was at her house. Emma finally told us about this when she broke down during dinner at our house last week. She had been staying with us for a few days because Andrew and Lisa were away on a business trip. Over dinner, she started crying and confessed everything. Camilla had been making her feel guilty about liking Lisa. She would cry and tell Emma that she was betraying her by getting close to Lisa. She even told Emma that if she kept loving Lisa, soon she wouldn't need a mom anymore and Camilla would lose her forever. The worst part was when Emma showed us a journal Camilla had forced her to keep. Camilla had bought her this pink notebook with butterflies on it, telling her it was their special secret. She made Emma write down everything Lisa did or said when she was with her dad. Emma would write innocent things like Lisa helped me with my math homework or Lisa made mac and cheese for dinner. Then Camilla would read these entries with Emma and twist them around, saying things like, "See? She's trying to show you she's smarter than me or she's trying to make you forget my cooking." Emma had been keeping this journal for months, too scared to tell anyone because Camilla told her it would break up the family if anyone found out about their special secret. Camilla had even told Emma that if Andrew found out about the journal, he would be so angry that he might send her away to live with Camilla's parents. Andrew was absolutely devastated when we told him about all this. He had noticed Emma becoming more withdrawn but had attributed it to normal adjustment issues with the divorce. He immediately contacted his lawyer to review their custody agreement. The lawyer said Camilla's behavior could be considered parental alienation, which could affect their current custody arrangement. When Camilla found out that Andrew was talking to his lawyer, she completely lost it. She showed up at my house at midnight, screaming and banging on the door. My husband was away on a work trip, so I was alone and honestly scared. She was yelling about how I had ruined her family. She accused me of always being jealous of her relationship with Andrew because I never had kids of my own, which was a choice my husband and I made. She said I was trying to live vicariously through Emma and that's why I was supporting Lisa. I started recording on my phone as soon as I heard her outside. Camilla was clearly unhinged, threatening to make sure none of us ever saw Emma again if we tried to change the custody arrangement. She said she would take Emma and move across the country where we couldn't find them. I had to call the police to make her leave, and they advised me to file for a restraining order. The next day, Camilla started posting on social media about how her ex-husband's family was trying to steal her daughter. She shared heavily edited versions of events that made us look like the bad guys. She posted old family photos with captions about how we had changed and betrayed her. Some of our relatives who don't know the full story started commenting in support of her, saying we were being cruel. Our mom, who initially wanted to keep inviting Camilla to family events to keep the peace, finally saw Camilla's true colors when Camilla called her yesterday. Camilla threatened to tell Emma that her grandmother didn't love her if she didn't convince Andrew to drop the custody modification request. Our mom was shocked. She had always defended Camilla, saying she was just a hurt woman acting out of pain. Now she finally understands what we're dealing with. Andrew has now filed for emergency temporary custody until they can have a proper hearing. Emma is staying with him full-time right now, and Camilla is only allowed supervised visits at a visitation center. The whole situation is messy and painful, especially for Emma, but at least she's safe from her mom's manipulation for now. I know some people in my previous post thought I made things worse by banning Camilla from family events, but seeing how things have escalated, I believe I made the right call. Camilla's behavior has only gotten more erratic, and I shudder to think what might have happened if we had kept pretending everything was fine. Update: 2 things have taken an even darker turn that none of us expected. Last week, we discovered that Camilla had been secretly feeding information about our family to Lisa's ex-husband, who has been trying to get custody of Lisa's son from her previous marriage. The way we found out was completely accidental. Lisa's ex-husband showed up at Emma's school during pickup time, which was odd because he had never met Emma. The school called Andrew because this unknown man was asking questions about Emma's relationship with Lisa. When Andrew arrived at the school, he found out that this man was Lisa's ex, and he had photos of Emma that could only have come from Camilla. After some digging, we learned that Camilla had tracked down Lisa's ex-husband through social media about 2 months ago. She had been meeting him secretly and feeding him twisted versions of events, making Lisa look like an unstable parent. She gave him those edited recordings she had made of Emma crying about Lisa, trying to make it seem like Lisa was abusive toward children. She even showed him Emma's forced journal entries, completely out of context, to paint Lisa as manipulative and cruel. Lisa was absolutely devastated when she found out. Her custody agreement with her ex was already delicate because he had tried to paint her as an unfit mother during their divorce. Now Camilla had handed him ammunition that could potentially affect Lisa's time with her son. Andrew was furious because Camilla had not only hurt Emma but was now trying to hurt an innocent child she had never even met, just to get revenge. What made everything worse was discovering that Camilla had been planting seeds in Emma's mind about Lisa's son too. She had been telling Emma that once Lisa and Andrew got married, Lisa's son would become Andrew's new favorite child. She showed Emma pictures from Lisa's social media where she was with her son, telling Emma that this would be her new family and she would be left out. She even convinced Emma that Lisa's son would get her room and she would have to move to the smaller guest room. The truth about all this came out when Lisa's ex contacted Andrew directly last week, wanting to compare notes about Lisa's behavior with children. He actually thought he was doing Andrew a favor by warning him about Lisa. He mentioned all the things Camilla had told him, and it became clear that she had been orchestrating this whole thing for months. Andrew immediately informed his lawyer about this new development. The lawyer said this strengthened their case for custody modification, as it showed a pattern of Camilla trying to interfere with relationships and manipulate situations involving children. He also advised Lisa to document everything for her own custody case. When confronted about this, Camilla didn't even try to deny it. Instead, she justified her actions by saying she was trying to protect both Emma and Lisa's son from a woman like Lisa. She claimed she had done research and found out that Lisa had changed jobs 3 times in 5 years, which to her meant Lisa was unstable. She said she was doing everyone a favor by exposing Lisa's true nature before she could hurt more children. Our parents are completely done with Camilla now. Even our mom, who had been somewhat sympathetic to Camilla initially, said she couldn't recognize the person Camilla had become. Dad said he felt guilty for ever defending her behavior, especially now that we know she was willing to hurt another child just to get revenge. Emma has been seeing her therapist twice a week now. The therapist specializes in children affected by divorce and parental alienation. She's helping Emma understand that what her mom did wasn't right, but it's still hard for Emma to process everything. She gets especially upset when she thinks about how her mom tried to hurt Lisa's son, because she's actually grown quite close to him and sees him as a little brother. The hardest part in all of this is watching Emma struggle with her feelings about her mom. She told her therapist that she still loves her mom but doesn't feel safe telling her anything anymore because she's afraid her mom will use it to hurt someone. It's heartbreaking to see a 10-year-old have to deal with these kinds of complex emotions. Andrew and Lisa are trying to protect both kids from as much of the drama as possible, but it's challenging. Both children are in therapy now, and we're all just trying to maintain some sense of normalcy for them. The custody hearing is scheduled for next month, and we're all anxiously waiting to see how things turn out. Update 3: I think this will be my final update on the situation with Camilla. The custody hearing finally happened last week, and it was intense. With all the evidence we had, the recordings of Camilla's midnight meltdown at my house, the documentation of her harassment, proof of her interference with Lisa's custody situation, the journal she made Emma keep, and Emma's therapist's testimony, the judge ruled firmly in Andrew's favor. Camilla now only gets supervised visitation rights every other weekend at a visitation center. She has to attend mandatory counseling sessions, and her visitation schedule will be reviewed after 6 months based on her progress and behavior. The judge was particularly stern about Camilla's manipulation of Emma and her interference in Lisa's custody situation. She's now under strict orders not to record Emma's conversations, question her about Lisa, or discuss Lisa's son at all during visits. The most surprising part of all this was Emma's reaction to the custody change. We were all worried about how she would handle seeing her mom less, but she actually seemed relieved. She told Andrew that she had been scared to make her mom angry by showing any happiness around Lisa or us, and now she didn't have to pretend anymore. She said it was exhausting trying to remember what she could and couldn't say to avoid upsetting her mom. Camilla, predictably, didn't take the ruling well. After her initial crying fit in the courthouse, she started creating multiple social media accounts to harass us after we blocked her main accounts. She made fake profiles pretending to be concerned neighbors, posting made-up stories about Lisa being mean to the kids. She even tried to show up at Emma's school claiming there was a family emergency, which resulted in the school banning her from the premises except during her designated pickup times. Last weekend, Camilla sent a mass email to the entire family, including distant relatives we barely talked to, with a long message about how we had stolen her daughter and ruined her life. She attached old family photos and claimed we had brainwashed Emma against her. Most family members ignored it, but some of her enabler relatives are still giving us grief about it. There was one positive development. Lisa's ex-husband eventually apologized to her after realizing he had been manipulated by Camilla. He dropped his custody modification attempt, which was a huge relief for everyone, especially Lisa's son who had been worried about having to change schools. He and Lisa have actually started communicating better since this whole mess, realizing they need to present a united front against outside interference. Emma is doing much better now. She's back to her cheerful self and is actually enjoying spending time with Lisa without feeling guilty about it. She's doing well in school again, and her therapist says she's making great progress. She still loves her mom, but she told her therapist she feels safer knowing her mom can't make her choose sides anymore or use her words to hurt other people. Our family gatherings are much more peaceful now without Camilla's drama. Some relatives still think I was too harsh in banning her initially, but seeing how everything played out, I know I made the right call. Sometimes you have to make tough decisions to protect the people you love, even if others don't understand it at first. Andrew and Lisa are planning their wedding for next spring. Emma is excited about being the flower girl, and Lisa's son will be the ring bearer. Sometimes I catch myself thinking about how different things might have been if we had confronted Camilla's behavior sooner, but I guess you can't change the past. At least now we can all move forward without the constant drama and manipulation. Emma finally has the stable, peaceful environment she deserves.